Kreepers! How the heck are you crazy creeps? It is Klearski and I am back. We are currently walking down the Springwater corridor here. It's an early morning, just kind of gonna grab a coffee and take care of a couple errands, but I wanted to chime in with you guys real quick and say hello first and foremost. Always thank you very much for always tuning in and creeping with. Means the world to me. And last week, last few vlogs back, we chimed in on some channels that I watch and even recommended to you guys. And so today's gonna be, the flip side to that, side B, if you will. And that is channels that I don't watch. And so today we're just gonna kind of creep around. I wanted to take care of a couple errands, maybe grab a coffee, and just tell you guys about the channels that I actually don't watch. So a little different content today, and as always, we're gonna keep it upbeat and positive because that's what my channel's about. But I do want to tell you guys about some of the channels that I actually don't watch. So you're gonna want to stay tuned. It's gonna be a good one. All right. So like I said, we are just walking down the trail on this beautiful morning. And I wanted to take this time to just talk about some channels that I actually don't watch. Now, you might say, wow, this is gonna be, different. Well, it's gonna be, but it's not like I'm going to be, like digging at anybody or any kind of negativity. I just, for me, I choose not to watch certain content on YouTube. There's a ton of things you can watch, and it's easy to, I don't know, I think that, these days, unfortunately, this is just, again, my opinion, it seems like a lot of the negative stuff, on the news, on social media, seems like the negative media, in a way, sells itself, so to speak. It's kind of unfortunate, but, things are just that way. It's like, when you watch the news at night, if you do the local news, most of the information that you receive is probably not going to be the best. It's stuff that, tragic accidents and things of that nature, and just life in general. And that's, what the news seems to really focus on. And it seems like it's easy for YouTubers, not everyone, but a lot of the YouTube as well is kind of saturated with, I would say information, but it's stuff that, I like to be up on the latest news and know what's going on around me and stuff. I don't like to just, turn a blind eye or, sweep things under the rug. But also I limit myself very much to, the negative stuff. There's a lot of, YouTubers that will, that's basically the, the basis of their channel, is that they, I don't know, I guess stir up controversy or do things and film things knowing that there's going to be, some sort of opinions on it and stuff. And I just like, everybody's got their own opinion on things, and I just find that for myself, I try and just stay away from that negativity. And like I said, not all of it's like so negative. It's like they are just reporting on really what's going on. But I myself try to, like I said, I like to know what's going on, but I also don't like to go too deep into watching that kind of stuff, just because I don't think it's good for your mind, to constantly be, watching or putting your thoughts and energy towards, negativity. Now, I'm not saying that that's their goal, but I feel like they know that when they make videos or chime in on situations, it seems like those are the views and those are the things that really, you know, make the channel go. Now there's an opposite side to that as well, where you can, you know, only report on the positive things, only show nice stuff, and really it's not reality. You know, stuff in life happens, and that's just how it is. So I like to find that balance, but really those channels just aren't for me. I just find that there's so much other goodness and stuff going on in the world, and also so much other problems and stuff going on in the world, that I don't need to, you know, saturate myself with, you know, I would just say such negativity or stuff that's, you know, like a conflict of interest, or however you would call it, where, you know, no matter what, people are gonna say their opinions on things, and there's gonna be people that agree and disagree, but I just don't like to get too wrapped up in that. So that's, those are you know, some of the channels that I really just try and stay away from, because like I said, it just seems like it's meant for, you know, the camaraderie, which I'm all for, you know, folks having their own opinions, of course, like that and everything like that, but I'm also trying to steer clear from too much, you know, camaraderie. Now, like I said, that's just for me. Now, a lot of folks like to, you know, tune in and know what's going on, whether it be, you know, the positive information that you get or the so-called negative info. But for me, you know, in general life, there's already so much kind of wackadoodle, not so positive stuff that could be going on around me, that I find that to be just enough for me in my own little realm. So not to say that, you know, like I can say that I definitely like to be updated and know what's going on in the world, but I also keep myself, you know, kind of away from any of that kind of negative stuff. So pretty much any of the stuff that's on, you know, YouTube that might be controversy, morning guys, I try and stay away from the too much of that negativity, just because, like I said, there's so much other things that you can watch and learn, that, you know, I just find it really a waste of my time. And like I said, everybody's gonna have their own comments and opinions about it, so I basically just steer clear from that, because there are channels that you can watch and learn and really enjoy, that will, you know, kind of upbeat and uplift you, as opposed to, you know, kind of showing the negativity that can easily go on in the world. And unfortunately, you know, like I said, on the newscasts at night, they once in a while will pepper in, you know, they saved Jimmy's cat from a tree, which is nice, you know, but really, if that was the main, you know, breaking news on the nightly news, I doubt they would get as many people tuning in as they would when they're talking about something that, you know, really hits home for folks, or is sad, or, you know, whatever the emotion may be. But yeah, I stay clear from those channels, just because I just don't need negative stuff. I just don't. And it's kind of unfortunate, because like I said, I don't want to make it sound like I'm, you know, not living in the real world, or not paying attention, but, or even have, you know, concerns for folks and a heart for things that happen to people. That's not the case. It's just I don't personally like to have that kind of negativity. There's so much more positive stuff that I can watch that is upbeat and, you know, uplifting. So we are here at the main city area. I'm gonna grab a coffee and then we'll tune back in. But we just got here basically to the front of Main City Park here. So I'm gonna fish out a coffee real quick, and then I'll tune back in and we'll talk a little bit more about who I don't watch. All right, just got the walk sign here. We're crossing over to crossing Powell Boulevard here. And we are gonna be on the hunt for some coffee. But I wanted to keep talking with you guys for a moment and tell you about some other channels that I don't watch. That's right, channels I don't watch. Now, when I first started my channel, I did a lot of parodies, which are kind of like, you know, jokes about other channels, not necessarily other vloggers, just, you know, other channels. But the jokes that I did were, you know, considered parodies, which were always in good taste, which can be kind of, you know, a thin line when it comes to what other people might think is a joke and other folks might think is, you know, like a negative thing or a diss or a clown or however you want to call it. But I feel like if you keep the parody and the joke, you know, above the belt, so to speak, then it's usually pretty funny, and even cooler when it's one of those things like, you know, just kind of stating the obvious or showing that, you know, you've got a good sense of humor. But that can go wrong really quick. And what I mean by that is, you know, your joke might be taken differently by somebody, where your parody or your joke, you know, might upset them or hurt their feelings or have them think a type of way. And that's kind of why I quit doing it, just because not everybody gets the joke. And then also, as my channel kind of evolved and I, you know, started vlogging more and stuff, I kind of veered away from doing the parodies and stuff, which were always really fun. And it's kind of a judgment call. You know, you want to joke, and me myself, I could never get upset about somebody's, you know, parody or joke or whatever, just because I knew that it was all in good fun. Now, if it gets to the point where that person is constantly being parodied or joked upon or whatever, I could see where that person would definitely not like that. So some of the channels over the years that I've watched and really enjoyed, you know, I really quit watching, and I don't watch today. And that's some of the channels that continuously, you know, dog on the other creators. And it's one thing if you are, you know, joking around, and even if you're friends with the person, the other person could take it, you know, not the way you intend it, or a little more than what really, you know, how you wanted them to feel. And if it's all in good fun and jokes, then I'm all good with it. But that only works if both parties, you know, agree, or, you know, both parties see it that way. So I quit watching a lot of the channels that harp on the creators. Now, you might call it, you know, jokes, parodies. Wow, look at this. This is definitely interesting. Somebody shoved a apple up here, but it's got a face on it. That is weird. But the you know, the jokes and the parodies can get misconstrued, and the person that it's for, you know, they might take it a totally different way. So I quit watching some of the channels that continuously, you know, kind of, I wouldn't say pick on, but they constantly create their content around other people. You know, and it's kind of like, I'm all for the joke and I get it, but I can easily see where sometimes it can just be, you know, played out and not fun anymore when you're just constantly, you know, the butt end of the joke. So there's people like me that are pretty easygoing when it comes to that kind of stuff, and I mean, you could basically say whatever you wanted about me and I could care less. You know, I let it roll off my shoulder, or take it as a grain of sand, or however you want to call it. And what do you think, Todd? It's not cool when people keep joking about each other. And Mr. Gresham here, Todd, we featured his statue many of times, but yeah, Todd's a great dude. But anyways, to get back to what I was saying, you know, it's just the channels that constantly harp on other folks, I find to be, you know, just a little over much. Hey, bud. Mark. Is that Mark? Good to see you, bro. It's been a minute. Good to see you. Good friend of mine. And so yeah, it's just kind of like one of those things where, hey, bud. All of downtown Gresham, we all know each other. It's a small world out here. Yeah, so it's one of those things where the parodies and, you know, the jokes for other folks, it just gets old after a while. And I really wish some of the creators that are doing that, switched it up a bit, maybe found some new people to, you know, parody or poke at, or however you want to call it, just because I love jokes and I love the comical stuff and everything like that. But I can really see where if you're just constantly being, you know, the butt end of that joke, it can get old really quick. So I really quit watching some of the parody channels. And I'm not going to get into names or, you know, channel specifics, just because I just, you know, I'll leave it up to you to, you know, venture out there and see how they make you feel. So yep, that's some of the channels that I basically just stopped watching, just because, you know, there is so much more stuff on YouTube that you can watch and learn from and create with. And not to say that, you know, that's just my opinion. You guys obviously can watch whatever you want, but for me, I really stay clear from any of the negative stuff. Really, that's what I can really wrap this up with, is you know, any of the stuff that's just, you know, below the belt, really, or doesn't have any kind of, you know, good outlook or positivity to it. I just really stay away from it, just because, you know, I feel like everything in this world could be a little bit more upbeat if we all did our part and trying to, you know, be maybe a little bit more positive. And that goes for me too. You know, it's easier said than done, especially in rough times. And you know, negative stuff on YouTube and the, you know, controversial videos and the ones that people go out and, you know, and basically create conflict for content, I stay away from that too. I don't like any kind of, you know, the channels that they're constantly saying, well, I can do this if you don't like that, and it's this and that and that. Too much drama, too much nonsense, and people can get heavily, you know, their mindset could be easily affected by that kind of stuff. And I find that when I watch positive stuff, it helps me be more positive. Now, if I was to saturate myself with all this, you know, negativity and, you know, things that go on, then, you know, it probably won't give your mindset. It's just not good for, I just don't feel like it's good for your mindset and your inner just being, really. I mean, I don't want to get, you know, too deep about things, but I just feel like when you watch positive stuff, it makes you a positive person. You watch negative stuff, you could easily become, you know, sour and bitter and negative yourself. So be careful out there in YouTube land. You know, it's been fun to see all the different creators, and like I say, I don't limit myself to watching YouTube. I love to watch all kinds of different creators and content and everything like that, but those are mainly some of the things that I choose not to watch. Anyways, still haven't found a cup of coffee because I've been blabbing with you guys, so that'll be my next stop. But I wanted to thank you guys as always for tuning in and creeping with. Very awesome. So if you guys did like this, give it a thumbs up. Let me know down below who you know, don't watch. I'd love to hear it. And also ring that bell, that way when I creep, you guys will be the first to creep. But until next time, I need some coffee. I've been walking for a good while now. Love you guys. Creeper out for now. Peace.